this health plan benefits and qualifications advisory committee meeting. And if we could I get them? Could we start by having a roll call?
Attendance roll call. Grant Ritter.
Here.
Peter Doolittle. Mark Schaefer. Matthew Brackman. Commissioner Manisha Tutani from DPH. Toon Owen.
I'm on.
Neil Kelsey.
I'm here.
Alan Skinner.
Here.
Joel Zorn.
Here.
And Paul Lombardo.
Here.
Thank you.
Great. I assume there's no public comment. Is that right?
That's correct, Dr. Ritter.
Okay. Could I remind everybody when they speak to, at least the first time, announce themselves so we recognize their voice and know who's speaking? Thank you. Could I entertain a motion for approval of the minutes from February 24th, sorry. A member?
So moved. It's Jill.
Thank you, Jill. Second? Somebody.
This is Stu. Second.
Thank you, Stu. All right. It has to be somebody there. I imagine people are thinking, was I really there or not? Okay. Can we have a vote, please?
Can we have discussion first?
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Is there any
yeah.
discussion? Yes. Thank you, Neil.
Yeah, this is Neil. I'd like the minutes to reflect the conversation we had around some carryover from the meeting prior to that regarding qualifications for carriers and definitions and what have you. And we discussed that at the end of the meeting, and it was made clear that no recommendations or opinions would come from this committee to the, I think it was this strategy committee where that was being referred to, without first being vetted by members of this committee.
I think we thought the strategy committee should be the proper venue for discussing expansion, the whole issue of expansion. I didn't want to say it was only about qualifications. I mean, expansion, you have to meet certain qualifications to actually put in your request to join the exchange. But the strategy committee is probably the place that should discuss, should we be outreaching for new, to what extent do we fight for new carriers to join us? And under what circumstances? Yeah.
Right. And late in the meeting, we had a discussion about that because I was concerned that when that was brought to the strategic committee or strategy committee, certain opinions and viewpoints would go with that. And it was made clear to me that no, this committee, the qualifications committee, was not taking a position on that. And we were simply referring the issue to the strategic committee.
That's my understanding also, is if that's not in the minutes, it should be amended to include the fact we are not taking any position. We are just thinking that the proper place to discuss that is the strategy committee.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. Thank you. An important issue, and I hope that the strategy committee does, sort of take it up.
Okay. Roll call for the minutes as amended, right?
Yeah. Thank you.
Grant Ritter.
Here. Yes,
Peter,
I accept.
Peter Doolittle.
Hi.
Mark Schaefer. Matthew Brackman.
Yeah.
Toon Cohen. Oh, Matthew Brackman.
Yep.
Thank you. Toon Cohen.
Yes.
Neil Kelsey.
As amended, yes.
Alan Skinner.
Yes.
Joel Zorn.
Yes.
And Manisha Tutani. Thank you.
Okay. Next. Gotta get moving here. Could I turn it over to Susan for a legislative update?
Sure. Thank you, Grant. Hello, everyone. Susan Richby, Director of Legal and Governmental Affairs. This slide touches on our vision and mission, which we always want to remind everybody of, and if you could advance the slides, Marcin. And also our values, the excess health values. Thank you. Keep going. One more. Thank you. So there have been a couple of bills before the legislature regarding plans for 2023. So we have looked at them, and Wakely has worked with the carriers on them. So we just wanted to make everybody aware. House Bill 5386 would require cost-sharing caps for epinephrine cartridge injectors. And that was looked at by Wakely with the carriers, and it will not have an impact on the plans that the committee approved at the last meeting for AV and mental health parity. So if the bill passes, that is good news that we would not have to make any change to the plans to accommodate this. Obviously, the plans would have to provide for the caps. And also Senate Bill 358 is to expand health insurance requirements for treatment used to diagnose breast and ovarian cancers. The original bill was just for the breast cancers, and that was what Wakely had reviewed with the carriers. And they both all stated that there would be no impact as well for meeting AV and parity. The ovarian cancer diagnosis coverage was added when the bill was amended through the process for its joint favorable vote to move out of committee. So Wakely has touched base with the carriers, and I believe one of the carriers has gotten back to them about the impact, and it looks like we'll still be okay. So we'll hear back on the other ones, but hopefully everything would be good. You know, obviously these are expansions of coverage for consumers. And then another item that we had looked at and actually submitted comments on was House Bill 5410, which is proposing to limit deductibles for high deductible health insurance plans and some other items. And the limit that was proposed in the bill was the amount allowed by the IRS, which is significantly lower than the amount of the deductible in our bronze HSA plan, standard bronze HSA plan. So that was why we had submitted testimony on that. And also on the non-standard HSA plans that are in the shop as well. This bill did not get a joint favorable vote, so it has not moved on out of committee. So we will continue to monitor and see if anything comes up during the rest of the legislative session. But for now, it has not moved past committee. So we just wanted to update everybody on these items. So if anyone has any questions.
All right, this is Julie. I guess we'll go over the plan designs. We'll go on to the agenda. We do not have any updates yet. Our finalization of the federal AV calculator or the notice of benefit and payment parameters. So if there are any final changes to either of those elements, they do have the potential to impact the plan designs as approved by the committee. There are, as proposed, statutory changes. So if we go ahead to the next slide, we can skip that one because that covers what Susan covered and go to the next slide. This is advance to slide 13, please. This is a request or a follow-up from the previous meeting to provide some distribution information on cost sharing and in specifics, the deductible. So we went back and looked at our data. Unfortunately, we weren't able to use the same WACA data source, which is based on individual and small group coverage, because it relies on edge server data, which does not provide components of cost sharing. So we looked at another data resource, MarketSand data, which is large group and self-funded coverage, and the state of Connecticut. And almost 80% of enrollees have out of deductible spend under $1,000. So that would be the light blue portion. The dark blue portion represents any copays or coinsurance. And if you look at the farthest left side, where almost 53% of individuals have a deductible in the $0 to $250 range, with the average deductible being only $45 for those individuals. So there's definitely, similar to what we saw for the maximum out of pocket, a similar distribution or approach with regards to the deductible. I don't know if anybody has any questions, but we can go on and look at the plan designs. So we still had outstanding some finalization with regards to the 87% plan to reflect the appropriate maximum out of pocket allowed by regulation. And the approval was a deductible between $650 and $825 was approved by the committee. Going back to the issuers, the plans will pass all AV and mental health parity using a $675 deductible. So advancing to the next slide, you can see that option 1 with the new $675 deductible and $3,000 maximum out of pocket will be the proposed plan for the 87% cost sharing reduction plan. I'm not going to go through all of the rest of the plans that were approved by the group, but those are, I believe, included in the appendix that went out to the committee. And if there are no further questions, I will turn it back to you, Grant.
Okay, thank you. I was having a little delay on seeing the slides. Were other people seeing a delay?
Yes,
Oh.
I was.
Yes.
This is Ellen.
Could you, yeah, hold up that one just a few more seconds so I can at least see it. I swear it came and went in like 2 seconds. We were
Okay.
stuck on the
I know,
earlier
I
slide.
apologize. I was talking very fast.
Yeah, no, it was, there was just a delay between what you were
Okay.
speaking of and talking about the silver plan. I think the silver plan has the details. So what we're seeing here is a $675 option 1, and it does meet actuarial value qualifications
Yes, and parity.
and parity also. So it's
Mhm.
under 88%. Good enough. Okay. So that was the one outstanding one. Do we need a vote on that? Would we like a vote?
I
Marcia?
think you
Yeah,
already approved
you-
the vote, and
yep.
since it fell, oh, so go ahead.
Sorry, Julie. Yes, Grant, the committee did vote at the last meeting for the parameters. And this fits in and is the 675. So we just wanted to review it and let the committee know that luckily it was only a $25 increase that was required on the deductible. But the vote from the last meeting does cover it for the recommendation to the board.
Stand. Okay, fine. In that case, are there any questions from the members? If not, I'll turn it over to Kelly to discuss SADP review.
Good afternoon. Martian, if you could scroll through a little. There we are. Okay, thank you. So one thing that we wanted to bring up to you is that Access Health is actually exploring a potential for integrating the individual standalone dental plans onto the individual medical platform. What we're looking to do is provide a consumer with a seamless enrollment experience when purchasing a medical and dental plan through the exchange. There's several advantages to consolidating this, and one is that it creates an immediate awareness for the individual who is searching for a medical plan that dental plans are also available. It will allow the consumer to do a consistent enrollment, meaning they can enroll in both plans possibly at the same time rather than having to go to 2 different places like it is at this time. And then, from an Access Health standpoint, it does give the opportunity to grow in that segment of business. So our plans are just to look at the individual standalone dental at this point. The small group dental and medical plans would continue to be supported by Sophion as they are today. And we have had some discussions with the carriers to let them know that this is something that we are looking into. Martian, if you could go to the next slide. So getting into the dental plan
Hey,
mix
Kelly,
oh,
Kelly,
sorry.
I don't know, Dr. Whitty, did you have a question?
No,
About the dental?
no,
Okay, okay. Thank
no,
you. I'm
I'm
sorry
fine.
for interrupting.
Sorry.
Thank you.
So each year we go through the standalone dental information. So I think many of you are probably very familiar with some of these slides that you're about to see. This is the 2022 plan mix for the standalone dental plans. If you look to the left box, that indicates the number of plans that are permitted per issuer. And note that for individual and small group markets, there's no difference in the plan mix requirements. So from Access Health standpoint, we do require one standardized plan, and an issuer can offer up to 3 additional non-standard plans. If you focus onto the right side of the screen, this is what we currently have and offered in the individual and small group markets today. We have a total of 4 plans on the individual side and a total of 2, one of those being a standardized plan. Martian, if you could. So current enrollment, this enrollment number is reflective of just the individual markets, but you can see year over year we've had a 27% increase in membership as of the enrollment numbers, open enrollment numbers from January. So that's a positive message that we wanted to deliver to all of you today. Next slide, thank you. So I think many of you are very familiar with this standard plan design. It hasn't changed in the last several years. So what this slide is trying to do is outlining for you the member cost sharing for the standardized plan. The last time that this plan was adjusted was in 2019, and I think that was as a result of a change that CMS had made regarding AV ranges. But other than that, the plan itself has stayed the same. This plan, the standardized plan, follows all the ACA regulations and includes any Connecticut EHB benchmark plan requirements as well. So one of the items on this screen, or 2 items rather, are circled in blue, and we're going to get into that in just a moment. But before we move on, does anybody have any questions regarding this standard plan design?
Brent, may I have a quick question? This is Ted.
Sure.
Yeah,
Hi, Ted.
Oh, go ahead, Ted. Yeah, sorry.
I just have a question. I know that we're requiring these. Is it mandated by at the federal level that standalone dental plans be offered, or is that just a state option?
I don't believe that there's any mandate, but it is an option to offer. And if they do, there are certain federal guidelines that do apply to these plans.
Yeah, we are required, Ted, to allow carriers that want to offer standalone dental plans through Access Health to allow them to be offered.
And then children's dental is an essential health benefit, but that's something different.
Well, it's included in the standalone dental plans as well as being embedded in the medical plans.
Okay, thanks. That's a little bit of trivia I didn't know. Thanks, I appreciate it.
Yep. So
Okay.
the only one change that we did have for the standard plan design, which actually took an effect last year, but it was a little bit later on in the year, is that the eligibility for the pediatric services changed. So it went from 19 to age 26. Martian, if you could. So this slide goes with the 2 items that were circled in blue on the plan design, and it's referring to the annual limitation on the cost sharing, which is the maximum out of pocket. And currently in our plans, it is $350 for one child and $700 for two or more. And each year, what happens is the Consumer Price Index, or CPI, for specific dental services is looked at and recalculated using a benchmark number. So for 2023, CPI recalculated and indicated that the out-of-pocket maximums could be increased by $25. So that would be raising it from the $350, $700 to the $375 to and $725. So this is similar to what had happened in the previous year, and the group, this committee, decided to leave the out-of-pocket maximums as they are, but we wanted to make sure that the committee was aware this change could be considered for 2023.
This is Jill. So if we don't raise it, our premium's going to go up a lot, or it's hard to know?
Good question. So
Julie, I don't know if you could weigh in. I think with such a small amount, I don't know what the impact is on premium.
I mean, dental's unique. I wouldn't expect there to be a significant change if there was no change.
yeah, I wouldn't think that a $25 change in the out-of-pocket max would have a significant impact to the overall rate.
Mm-hmm.
What is the, let's see, this is the out of pocket. So this is, yeah, what
Yes.
is the premium now? Is it?
The premium now?
Yeah.
For 2022, the individual market rates for a child ages 0 through 25 are $32.73, which is no change from the rates in the prior year. And then for adults age 26 and above, the current rate is $65.62. And in the prior year, it was $71.09, which actually represents a 7% decrease in rate.
Now, with a dental plan, isn't there sort of a maximum payout also, though? I mean, I don't know what it's called.
So, Martin, if you go up back to the plan design. So our standard plan actually has a plan maximum of $2,000.
$2,000, okay.
And so, and also please keep in mind that the out-of-pocket maximum only applies to the pediatric benefit. It does not include adult coverage.
Okay.
So probably just leave it alone.
Yeah, well, Jill, what you said was, I mean, the rates went down last year, so
Right.
possibly the impact will be to raise it to what it was 2 years ago. Do we need to vote on this? Is this something we have to decide today?
If you don't want to make any change, no, you're all set, because and this is what the plan has been for the last several years.
Okay. Well, I will entertain a motion if anybody wants to make one. Okay, I guess not. So thank you. Is that the end of it, Kelly, or do we have more?
Nope, I think
Okay.
we're
good. Okay, in that case, I'll turn it over to Charmaine to discuss timeline.
Hello, everyone. We are currently still on track with this timeline. We plan to release the solicitations in late April after the April 21st board meeting. We anticipate that CMS will issue the final MBPP and the MOOP and final actuarial value calculator by that time, along with the IRS will issue the limits for the high deductible plans for plan year 2023 by that time so that we can finalize the plans. In the event these regulations are not issued by the April 21st board meeting, it is possible that information released subsequent to the date could result in the need to modify the standard plans again, and we will keep you apprised of that. Any questions?
Okay, well, if not, I'll turn it back to Susan for updates.
Thank you, Grant. So for next steps, obviously we will make the amendment requested and approved by the committee in the meetings from the last meeting. And then the next step is to present the committee's recommendations to the board at the April 21st meeting for the certification requirements for 2023. And then obviously continue to monitor when those final regulations come out from HHS and the IRS.
Okay. All right. Any questions? Well, great, short and sweet. I guess I'll entertain a motion to adjourn from any member.
So moved, Ted.
I want to make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, Ted, you want a second?
Yes, I will second.
Okay, thank you. All right, do we vote on that? Yeah, I guess we do vote on it.
We do. Okay. Bram Ritter,
Grant, yes.
Tito Doolittle,
Aye.
Mark Schaefer, Matthew Brackman,
Aye.
Evan Goin,
Yes.
Neil Kelsey,
Approved.
Alan Skinner,
Yes.
Jill Zorn,
Yes.
and Manisha Jutani. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, everybody. We are adjourned.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you all.